Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this seminar 6 on health, pharma, life sciences and biotech. Now, we've got a number of speakers lined up. Unfortunately, it's a fairly tight schedule. We've only got 15 minutes each. So, we probably won't have time for Q&A after each speaker. If there is a little bit of time, I'll open it. Otherwise, we leave it at the very end, or maybe sometime then. So, without delaying any further, as we must adhere to this schedule, I'd like to introduce PJ Maloney. He's the CEO of Eirechrom. And encouragingly, PJ's company has been nominated for the Outstanding Small Business Award, which is on the RDS tonight. So I'm sure his story will be of great interest to the seminar. So over to you, PJ.
Thanks, Kieran. Good morning, everybody. As Kieran said, I'm the CEO of Eirechrom. Very hard to condense an hour slide deck into 15 minutes, so I'm going to try to sum this up in as best I can in 15 minutes. So basically, our presentation is trends in upstream and downstream process development for biopharma manufacturing, and looking at analytical characterization, quantification, and control. We're seeing lots of changes within the biopharma industry. Ireland's becoming a really important hub across EMEA. Just a little bit about our company. We set up 3 years ago, so we're just 3 years old. We've 2 locations, one in Cork and Mahon, and we've just set up in Clonmel, so Clonmel has become our headquarters. So we're very happy to say we're Enterprise Ireland clients as well, so as well as being a laboratory supply company, we have a facility in Clonmel that has an applications laboratory and a training centre. So just looking at the market that we deal with, so we deal with biopharma, pharmaceutical, food and beverage, clinical and forensics and environmental, and we've got some really, really good clients within this industry. Last year again we were nominated for Irish Pharmaceutical Awards. So really the presentation today is looking at the biopharmaceutical industry. As you can see from this slide deck, Ireland is becoming extremely important. The graph alone shows that, you know, by 2018, Ireland will probably be producing most cell culture. You look at Regeneron, Amgen, Eli Lilly, these companies are quite vast. So again, the trends that we're seeing in the biopharma industry is that people are moving to single-use technology. So looking at cell culture, there's no clean in place, it's manufacture the drug and move to single use, and the market is becoming extremely, extremely competitive. So on the left hand side of the slide, this is a traditional biopharmaceutical plant. And then on the right hand side, we're seeing a move to single use, where you'll have the bioreactors in the back and then manufacturing your cell culture to single use bags. So our company, Eirechrom, we represent, I suppose the slide deck is about mass spectrometry and also about bioprocessing. So if you look at the upstream and downstream side of bioprocessing, we're working with a company called Finesse. Finesse are a Santa Clara based company. And the one really nice thing about Finesse is they're non-biased. So the industry, we see PAL, Millipore, Sartorius, Merck Millipore, big multinational players. But what Finesse do is they come in and they retrofit their bioreactors for upscale, for upstream and downstream. This is becoming really important for sites like Regeneron, BMS, where now they have a vendor which works under the Emerson Delta V network. And as you can see from this slide deck, we're working from the pilot scale analytical lab all the way through to the upstream and downstream. But more in particular, if you look at that blue box, the blue box sees that this Emerson Delta V, or the True Bio Network, can communicate through OPC compliant software, so it's looking at the laboratory scale instruments. One of our main areas, as I said, is working on mass spectrometry. So if you look at upstream and downstream, some of the problems that these clients have is looking at host cell proteins, they're looking at ADCs, monoclonal antibodies. And this software is really, really clever, as I said. It's looking at the upstream, the downstream, but it's also controlling the laboratory analytics. So now you've got a network that is controlling the bioprocessing as well as the laboratory and analytics. And some of the what I'm seeing in industry is that people are moving away from the traditional small molecule of the laboratory QC to more quality by design and process analytical techniques. So some of the solutions that Finesse have for single-use technologies are sensor technology. So if we're making a cell culture line, we can pick up conductivity, pH, DO, moving through into the up into the manufacturing scale, and even within the pilot side of the business, we can control the rocker plates, the mini bioreactors. As I said, we're working with two very large biopharmaceutical sites in Ireland, and they're going to start their pilot lab looking at, I suppose, the third section of the slide deck, where this true bio software will start looking at the pilot scale to these sites scale up. Our main business is really mass spectrometry. That's what Eirechrom specialise in. So if we look at that market from now to 2015, year on year it's scaling up. And the reason mass spectrometry is becoming such an important analytical technique, not only in the biopharmaceutical industry, is that we're looking at the fingerprint of a compound. We're looking for unknown unknowns, and particularly in the biopharma industry. Key areas of concern is looking at leachables. So these cell culture bags, is there leachables getting into the cell culture media? As I said, the market is really scaling up, and I think if we look at the Irish landscape, we're so fortunate to have Nibert here in Ireland. Nibert and the IDA have done a fantastic job because Regeneron are here on the basis of Nibert being here, Amgen. Again, just this slide deck, I apologise for the small font in the slide deck. If anyone wants to speak to me after, I can pass it on to them. But if we look at the upstream side of the business, so we look at cell engineering, media, the bioreactor, process monitoring. We're looking at PAT technology from Finesse that can control all this side of it. They can look at sensor technology, but also mass spec is fitting into this. And I think if you look at the next 3 to 5 years within Ireland and across EMEA, the role of the analytical laboratories, I think, is going to be gone. That's my personal opinion, having dealt with small molecule sites for so long. We're going to see companies produce their seed cell culture, move through the upstream, but continuously monitoring the cell culture and the cell growth. No more will we see the product going into, if you look at the small molecule site, you'll have raw materials in process, you'll have finished product. The product is pretty much manufactured, and then we start looking at the QC. Where if you look at the whole biopharmaceutical process, it's from the get-go. They're growing their cell culture, they're scaling it up in their 3 to 5 litre bioreactors, moving it up into big bioreactors, where they're manufacturing 2,000 to 5,000 litres at a time. And all along this process, we're monitoring pH, DO, and again, mass spec sits into this, looking at the cell culture, looking at peptide mapping, looking at ADCs. I think that's my slide deck. As I said, I had 15 minutes to try to sum up this talk, but as I said, Ireland is really becoming an important epicentre in EMEA. We're really punching above our weight, and as I said, sites like Nibert bring in companies like Regeneron, they bring in companies like Amgen. And again, the industry is moving from small molecule to large molecule, and continuously monitoring that process, developing large batches. And I suppose if you're looking at PAT technology, and as I said with Finesse, if an operator leaves his desk to go on a coffee break, the danger of pH falling on a cell culture batch, and I've heard it in the industry where a site in Ireland, they lost a batch in the millions because they couldn't control the pH, the operator went out. So all these things of continuously monitoring, and as I said, mass spec is completely sitting into this portfolio. I can see, I'm speaking to 2 Irish companies that are spin-offs of university. I think we're going to see sensor technology becoming really important. I know the Tyndall Institute and Nibert are working on quite a really unique project where instead of looking at DO and pH, we're looking at the glycan analysis of that cell culture. And again, all this should be feeding back into the mass spec software. So that's as I said, 15 minutes. I really do need 45 minutes to go through this in depth. If anybody has any questions, I'll open the floor.
It is time for a couple of questions if anybody. I'll pass the microphone down because it won't be possible to be here without it. Well, looks like we're good. I'll let you just sum up there, PJ.
Thanks, Kieran. So again, we'll be exhibited at 31. If anybody would like to come over and speak to us, I suppose, about the bioprocessing industry, but again, we're open to look at food, pharma, clinical. We do a hell of a lot of work for a small Irish company. As I said, we're 3 years in age. We became an Enterprise Ireland client. We're working with so many of the universities, and I know the Irish Research and Development Group, I don't know if Dennis or Mary are here, but the Irish Research and Development Group, I'm looking at Danielle from Waterford IT in the Eirechrom Centre. People like this are helping small indigenous companies in Ireland. Eirechrom have become really important to us, and we will put your Enterprise Ireland voucher to you. But as a small Irish company, we are competing with big multinationals, and we have to go into these Regenerons and these Amgens offering a really valued solution to customers, not going in as, we represent Finesse, we represent Sciax, we get a nice margin in this product. Actually going in and listening to the customer's pain. Where is the bottleneck in your process industry? Where can Eirechrom and our staff help you? And that really tries to sum up what our company is all about. It's more an R&D focused company, more than a laboratory supply company. And the last year we've really grown as a small company. We're 4 staff and we hope to be 8 staff by the end of the year. So I'm just trying to sum up, as I said, the bioprocessing industry. I think Ireland is going to explode in the next 3 to 5 years. I think Regeneron is the start of great things to come, but again, it's down to the likes of IRDG, the Waterford ITs, the Nyberts. These are the people and the spin-off companies that are making Ireland grow. Thank you.